All right, in this video I'm going to show how to put this Omega together to do some juicing. So here's the base motor part that plugs in and drives the whole thing. And this thing's like, by itself, it's like 13 pounds, something like that. There's a feeder tube and a piece that plugs directly into this. There's the auger itself, the strainer grinder piece. There's an end piece that has sort of an adjustment for how thick you are grinding. And what comes out of the end of this is the pulp. And then there's a feeding sort of tray that sits on top and a feeder tube. And then, of course, the two, one for the pulp and one for the juice that's coming out of the system. And then there's some extra pieces that are used for extruding. There's a bunch of ends inserts with various holes and sizes. We don't use this for juicing, but this comes with it, and a piece that doesn't grind. It just pushes so that when it mixes, it just pushes out the end, right? So nothing comes out of the juicer bottom when this is inserted. And it's like a blank end for that these caps fit in for the extruding part. There's no adjustments on that thing. There's also a strainer for the juice. I'm not using that right now, but that would fit, you know, again, inside the juicer container for the output to strain out any, like if you got pulp, stuff like that. I'm not going to be using that, and then the cleaning brush. So, all right, so really this auger fits in to this feeder tube, pretty straightforward. There's a hole in the end, right? That the end of this fits into this unit, and this fits into that unit. So it goes inside of this tube, right? And then comes out the end. So that grabs and sort of chops up and then gradually squishes it out the end. And then there's a grinder strainer combo, and then the big sort of piece fits down on the bottom, right? So that goes in here where the juice comes out, right? So you see there's a tab that fits inside there. And then the end just goes on that, and it turns counterclockwise when you're tightening it. So you actually goes on the end, right? And then counterclockwise, right? And it's tightened. And then you have an adjustment on the end for how tight it squeezes that. This also then goes right into just straight in, don't strain it, and then this twists to closed to hold it in place. If this ever turns even slightly, you're feeding this too much too quickly. So chop it down a little bit further. Then this little feeder cap thingy goes on here where you can set stuff and then push it down into the feeder tube. The juice catch goes underneath of this bottom tube, and then out the end, you put this other thing on the end to catch any of the pulp that's coming out the end. And then, of course, you use this feeder piece right here. So if you look at the size of this, once it's put together, this is exactly what it is. You figure it's, you know, maybe 14 inches deep from the end, or I guess 18 if you're counting the catch, you know, end to end. And then it is really only, if you look at it, it's only about 7 inches, less than 7 inches wide, you know, front to back. And then height-wise, with the feeder piece on it, you're going to see it's, I'd say 13 inches tall total. Only pick it up from this handle right here, and I always take this off just to make sure I don't make the mistake of grabbing this. But so you just take it off. If you're going to move this thing, grab it by this handle, right? That's it. That's the assembly of the Omega juicer.